to Bruno Berthan. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
My pleasure, thank you.
All right, even before we start looking at the results, just put this into context for us. When we're talking about sustainability in business, what are we talking about? Are these green issues? Is this businesses carrying on as a going concern, they themselves being sustainable? What are we talking about here?
We're talking a very sort of wide range of issues because in a way we allow the CEOs to define sustainability for their company and their business by themselves. So of course it includes the environment, it includes social issues. They also talk about employment, they talk about growth. So it's really sort of a relatively wide definition, and it's very much around this idea that sustainability is really about the long term of business, and of course the link with the planet, the resources, and the people. But it's quite interesting to see, for example, that this year topics like growth and employment are really sort of very high on the agenda. And sometimes they might be sort of ahead of topics like environment and climate change, which were maybe sort of higher 3 years ago when we did the previous research.
Okay, so now the UN boss says that this global compact is an opportunity for the UN to work together with enlightened companies. So just how enlightened are they? Tell us a little bit about what you found in this year's research.
Well, first of all, the companies that are joining the UN Global Compact have an interest, but it's becoming, at least for large companies, a majority, and there is now a very sort of wide penetration of the UNGC also in mid-sized companies. There is clearly a desire and intent. So 3 years ago, 93% were saying it's a top priority or priority for them, the sustainability at large. This is confirmed this year. So this is a very important topic. Most CEOs recognize for lots of reasons based on regulation, on their competitive environment, sometimes on what their kids are saying at home, that sustainability is really important and it's part of their agenda. What they're also saying is that it is difficult and we see a bit of a plateau effect this time, what we've called frustrated ambition. I guess 3 years ago they were somewhat sort of optimistic about their ability to really influence the agenda from a business standpoint. This time they're realizing that it's quite difficult to progress. The economic climate has not helped, and that forced them sometimes to revisit their ambition or their investment plan. And the consequence is that both for their company, the progress is somewhat sort of slower, and there is still a performance gap, and also globally, as we know with the latest results from science, the planet is not really sort of going in the right direction yet. So there is a lot of issues around that.
So, okay, I mean, this kind of association is voluntary, isn't it?
Yes.
You sign up. And the question is now, if they don't do this sustainable thing, if they don't change their mindset, and we realize where we're going, is there any way that we can encourage companies or even force them to join the party, as it were?
That's one of the key conclusions. 83% of CEOs say that they expect more from regulators and governments, which means that in a way they say if the rules of the game are not sort of redefined for everybody, it is quite difficult to progress. And we've seen that around issues like accounting rules, like carbon tax or other types of initiatives. So that's one element. The second one, and it's a frustration that CEOs still have, is the impact of the analysts and the financial markets. They do quite a lot of reporting. They're trying to share a number of the things that they are doing for their own business. And they are often frustrated that it's not yet really a priority for financial markets.
Is it making a difference in your view?
It is making a difference because we see there are a number of pioneers that have a fantastic reputation. And what we've been able to show in the research is that the high performers in business and in sustainability are part of that, what we call the transformational agents, the transformational leaders who really have an impact. And there's a number of companies, sector by sector, that are recognized as leaders in sustainability and leaders in business. So in that sense, there is a real element of convergence, but it's still probably sort of not enough. to have the full impact that everyone is looking for.
All right. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so we're going to have to leave it there. But what I will do is I'll point people to this particular document. And as we say goodbye to the Global Managing Director for Accenture's Strategy and Sustainability, and he's looking at this very interesting document, the UN Global Compact Accenture, the CEO study for sustainability in 2013. I'm sure this is available on your website, isn't it?
Absolutely,
So people can get hold of that. Okay, all right, that's where we'll leave it. Let's go.